Hello, nerds! Thank you for joining me here on Nerd News Clips. This is the second channel. This is the place for all of the short form content as well as the individual sections and just generally speaking smaller things. If you are into the longer form content, youtube.com/generallynerdy is the place to go see that. With that out of the way, let's get into this. Comic books and books. We have one piece of news, and that one piece of news is just a tease. This is a developing story. We have a new Spider-Man story arc being teased. We don't know if it's officially any other information other than it's going to be called Dark Web. And we will find out more May 7th for Free Comic Book Day. There's going to be a Venom book that comes out on Free Comic Book Day. So if you do not know what Free Comic Book Day is, real quick TLDR, Free Comic Book Day is a day you go to a physical comic book store and they give you free comic books. And it's not any comic book. You don't get to just walk in and take stuff off the walls. No. They get special, written specifically for this event kind of comics. Usually each book has multiple stories in it, so it's really actually quite cool. Go find your local comic book shop and hit them up on May 7th at some point in the day, because again, Free Comic Book Day, usually supplies are limited, so every comic book shop I go to for Free Comic Book Day, people are usually camping out before the shop opens because they, again, limited quantities. So go check it out because Dark Web is going to be happening and Spider-Man is huge, right? Everybody loves Spider-Man. Anyway, continuing on, we do have one suggestion. So, comic books and books suggestion. This is a book, not a comic book suggestion. We're talking about some steampunk. We're talking about some classic steampunk. We're talking about the classic steampunk, and that is Neuromancer by William Gibson. This is not the first steampunk book, but this is the flag bearer for what steampunk is. This is the embodiment of all of the elements of steampunk. You have dystopian future, you have broken lived-in world, you have tech that kind of sort of works and is somewhere out in the future, and you've got drug use, and this honestly, I used to read much more than I do now, but I still read a fair amount. This was the very first book I ever read multiple times. This is a classic beyond classics. 1987's Neuromancer by William Gibson is the standard for cyberpunk, and CD Projekt Red stole pretty heavily from this book. So if you enjoyed any of the experience of CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077, then it owes a lot to this book. You should read Neuromancer. Once again, this has been just a brief segment from the larger episode that has been posted over on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. Go over there for the long form content, or just subscribe here if you want it in bite-sized chunks. Thank you very much for joining me, nerds. We'll see you in the next one. Before we go though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.